Hello and welcome to Guns and Gear. Well, I know it's been a while since I've uploaded a video. I had hoped to upload some videos of my trip. I took 2 weeks up in the mountains recently. But as it turns out, the battery that I had, I have a charger for it, but that charger did not seem to want to work with my inverter in my truck, and I was unable to charge my battery. So other than those first couple of videos that I made when I first got up there, I was unable to make any more. And that's a disappointment, because I had brought some things and I'd had some ideas that I wanted to make some videos about, but you know, that's the way it goes. I'll have to do them another time. I wanted to talk about this day for a minute and the significance of it. This is December the 7th of 2011, and December the 7th is a specifically an important day in our history, because that's the day when Japan bombed Pearl Harbor. And as a result of that, soon after, the United States entered the World War II conflict. Now, this day has probably passed many times, and the significance of it has probably grown less and less. But today, December the 7th, 2011, is significant for 2 reasons. One is the 70th anniversary of the bombing. And 2, the Association for Survivors of Pearl Harbor has announced that they will no longer be able to meet on this day in the future. And you can well imagine that the folks that are survivors of Pearl Harbor are getting up in age, and the ability for them to travel is getting much more difficult, and the fact that their numbers are probably shrinking dramatically. So as a kind of a quick message to younger people who may not think much of the bombing of Pearl Harbor, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, things of that nature, let me remind you that there's going to be a day where the survivors of 9/11 will be unable to attend any ceremony. There's going to be a day when the conflicts that we have been engaged in the last 10 years, that those veterans are gone, and the families. Okay, this time is going to pass on. It's going to move on. All right, and it is important for us to understand our past, both the good things and the bad things, so we can appropriately celebrate our nation and appropriately learn the lessons from our mistakes, so that we can keep from prevent them in the future. So that's all I really wanted to say about that. Now, some of the things that I wanted to make videos about when I was up in the mountains was a new rifle that I had gotten and had taken with me. Now, normally for me, I'll wait and get real comfortable with a rifle and maybe make some loads up for it, or understand the trajectory and what it does in the wind and things of that nature at different ranges that before I ever use it in the field for hunting. Okay, but this time, this rifle, I'd only had maybe a month, and I'd only put maybe a couple of 100 rounds through it, and hadn't really done much serious shooting with it. But I decided to take it on a trip anyway. I was kind of excited to get in the rifle, and I wanted to take a chance on using it hunting. And 2 reasons really. One is I am very familiar with the cartridge, and number 2 is it's more of a short, medium range gun anyway. And where I was going to hunt was the ranges were going to be short and at best short, medium range shots. So I took a chance on taking it with me. Now, I did not get a chance to shoot it at game. I ended up shooting everything that I shot with my 308 Sako. But I did carry it out in the field a couple of days, and I did have an opportunity to go to the range up there in Jefferson National Forest a couple of days, And so I've shot another couple of hundred rounds through the gun. I'm getting very comfortable with it, and it's turning out to be a very nice rifle. I anticipate it becoming one of my favorites shortly. So let me go ahead and show it to you. This is the Sig 556R, okay? And the R designation, I would imagine, stands for Russia, or Russian, because it's chambered in 7.62 by 39. And it also, like the other 556, uses the AR-15 platform. Well, the 556R uses the AK-47 magazines, and I was using this little 5-rounder when I was hunting. It came with a Bulgarian polymer magazine. That seems to be pretty good, well made. The reason I know it's Bulgarian is because it actually says it. Hopefully that shows up. But at any rate, yeah, it came with a standard 30-round magazine, and there you go. I like the look of the rifle. I like the way it handles. It seems like a very handy rifle. The stock is both adjusting and it folds. It uses the same, the rifle uses the same gas piston system as the 556, which I think was derived from the 550. At any rate, it's a pretty good system that I have found so far. I do have the 556. I bought that thing when it first came out. I was always kind of a fan of the 550 and the 552, but you know, those things were kind of expensive to buy, and these aren't cheap, but they're a lot less expensive than the 550s and 552s that I've seen anyway. And those rifles have their own proprietary magazine. So it was kind of handy that when they came out with the 556 series that they adopted magazines that were already available in mass quantity. So that was a good thing. Now, like I said before, this is a gas piston system. It uses the same system as their other rifles. And I have found it to be very reliable rifles. Okay. Now, like I said, this particular rifle I don't have that much time behind, maybe a maximum of 400 rounds. Possibly that I've put through it so far. Now for hunting loads, I took the hunting load from Wolf, which I normally don't like to use steel cased ammo, or foreign ammo is what I should say, because of I have found it to be not as consistent when shooting for groups. I also had white box Winchester soft point round, and Core Bonds hunting load. And let me tell you something, the Core Bond round shot the best group, unfortunately. And the reason that I say that is about $40 a box for 20. So it's kind of funny that, yeah, here I go, I get another rifle or a pistol or something, and it likes the most expensive ammo. But that's important, especially for a hunting gun. I know that there's people out there that think practical accuracy is almost irrelevant. You know, it doesn't matter if you shoot a 1-inch group or a 4-inch group at 100 yards, you're hitting your target, and there's a lot of truth to that. And that even goes so far into hunting to a point. But see, the ability of the rifle to shoot accurately, the rifle, okay, is important. Then we must do our best to let the rifle perform as well as it can. For as hunting, if you go beyond 100 yards, maybe 200 yards, and that's kind of sort of my barrier for the 7.62 by 39 bullet. It has very similar ballistics to the 30-30. I believe you could stretch it out a little bit more than the 30-30. Although with the new Hornady Lever Revolution ammunition, the 30-30 range has also been extended quite a bit. But here in the southeast, eastern United States in general, there's a lot of thick woods. Okay, so a lot of the hunting is done at relative short range anyway. I believe I read in the NRA Hunting magazine that average shots are, the majority of average shots are less than 100 yards. And I don't remember them actually designating that being beyond the eastern United States, but they're talking about the United States in general. But, you know, there are places for a short range brush gun, and then there's places for the beanfield rifle. You know, if I was hunting across the meadow or hunting in a farm, on a farmer's field, something of that nature, I'm going to want more, I'm going to want better ballistic at longer ranges. But for a lot of the hunting that I do, the cartridge 7.62 by 39 does this fine. Now here in Virginia, I'm not allowed to use anything under a 23 caliber for hunting big game like deer or bear, or even hogs. But the 7.62 by 39 is obviously a 30 round bullet, so that's one of the main reasons I wanted to get the rifle. Yeah, I've always liked the caliber. I've never made any bones about that. There are plenty of platforms for the AR that you can get to hunt with. 6.8 SPC is one. 300 blackout. There's a ton of them out there that allow you to hunt in here, at least here in Virginia, and provide some pretty decent ballistics to do so. Now, I did put a scope on this rifle, which is something that may look a little odd on this gun. The scope is a Burris Full Field 2, and it's a 1 3/4 by 5 power, which, consider the limitations of the cartridge and area that I'm hunting, which is going to be shorter range, 75, 80 yards, is probably going to be a long shot in some of these woods. This little scope is a good complement to the rifle, I think. Now, the rifle did come with the Sig 556R red dot sight, which appears to be a nice little sight, but didn't particularly want to use that for hunting. It does not come with fixed sights of any type, and that's something that I will put on the rifle because I think that's important to have. They call it BUIS, backup iron sights. But I think they're extremely important because anytime you put any kind of optic, no matter how much it costs, it can be busted, it can be broken. And it's always good to have the iron sights on there. All right, folks, well, let's see. I don't believe there's anything else I wanted to say about the rifle. Remember the veterans. Remember today is a very significant day in American history. 70 years ago today, the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor. It was a significant loss of life, and the results of that was significant. Anyway, thanks for watching my videos, and as always, shoot straight on the range and in life. Thanks.